What if I told you that everything you strive for in life, be it money, a relationship, or peace of mind, is being actively blocked by a single nerve in your body? No, this isn't a metaphor. There's a biological switch inside you, known to ancient sages like Thoth as the nerve of God, and modern science calls it the vagus nerve. But what they don't tell you is that this nerve is the antenna that transmits your frequency to the universe. If it's out of whack, you can desire whatever you want. Your body will be emitting a signal of scarcity and fear, and that's what you'll get back. But what if you could hack this system? What if there was a 4-minute protocol based on a lost teaching, capable of activating this nerve so quickly that your body would become a magnet for everything you desire, effortlessly? They don't want you to discover how simple this is. Because a person who controls their own frequency cannot be controlled. In this video, I'm going to give you the exact step-by-step instructions for this protocol. Stay with me until the end, because your reality is about to be completely rewritten. If you are ready to activate your power, comment below. I am the creator. The idea that the universe responds to our vibration is not new. Ancient masters, such as the legendary Thoth, the scribe of the Egyptian gods, taught this principle millennia ago. In his writings, he made it clear that reality is not shaped by our verbal desires or our fleeting thoughts. The cosmos does not understand words, it understands frequency. And the emitter of this frequency is not your mind, but your body. Every cell, every organ, every system of your being vibrates at a specific resonance, and it is the sum of these vibrations that makes up your energetic signature, the signal you send to the quantum field at every instant. Now, look at your life. Do you constantly feel tired, anxious, on high alert, as if something bad is always about to happen? This isn't just a psychological feeling, it's a physiological state. It's your body screaming that it's in survival mode. And when your body is in this state, it emits a frequency of contraction, fear, and scarcity. It's a dense, low vibration, like the static that prevents a radio station from being tuned in. You might even try to convince yourself that you deserve abundance. But your biology is transmitting a completely opposite message. Danger, shut down, protect yourself. This is the great blind spot of almost all modern approaches to the law of attraction and manifestation. They focus excessively on the mind, on positive thoughts, on visualizations, but ignore the most crucial factor, the state of the body. It's a fundamental flaw. Because the mind may want one thing, but if the body is vibrating at another, it's the body's vibration that will always win. It's the primary language, the stark truth of your state of being. Trying to manifest prosperity while your nervous system is trapped in fear is like trying to fill a leaky bucket. The effort is enormous, and the result is nil. The God nerve, when deregulated, is primarily responsible for keeping you trapped in this vicious cycle. It is the guardian of your physiological state. When it perceives any sign of threat, real or imagined, it activates survival mode. The problem is that, in our modern society, we are bombarded by stimuli that the body interprets as threats. Work stress, negative news, social pressures, financial worries. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between a real predator and a tight deadline. For it, stress is stress, and the response is always the same: contract, fight, or flee. And it is in this state that your dreams die before they are even born. How can you open yourself to a new business opportunity if your body is biologically programmed to see the new as a threat? How can you attract a healthy relationship if your physiology is sending a signal that the connection is dangerous? The unregulated God nerve sabotages your desires at the source, cutting off the flow of creative energy, and keeping you trapped in a reality that only reflects your internal state of alert. You are not failing. You are being sabotaged by your own biology. The good news is that this frequency isn't a permanent sentence. It can be recalibrated. Just as a musician tunes their instrument before a concert, you can learn to tune your body's vibration. It's not a complicated process or one that requires years of practice. It's about understanding the language of your nervous system and giving it the right signals that it can relax, that it can switch out of danger mode and into safety and creation mode. It's a fine-tuning, but with a gigantic impact on your ability to manifest the life you desire. The key to this recalibration lies in learning to communicate to your body that it is safe. And this communication isn't done with words, but with specific actions that activate the part of your nervous system responsible for calmness and social connection. When you do this, your body's frequency begins to change. Static decreases, vibration rises, and the signal you send to the universe becomes clear and coherent. And a clear and coherent signal is something the universe cannot ignore. But to do this, you first need to understand what the invisible enemy is that keeps you stuck at the wrong frequency. So why is it so difficult to change, even when you desperately want to? Why do you find yourself repeating the same patterns, attracting the same situations, feeling the same frustrations, no matter how hard you try to be different? The answer isn't in your lack of discipline or your destiny. The answer is hidden in the workings of your nervous system, and it has a name: polyvagal theory. This theory, developed by Dr. Stephen Porges, is a map that reveals the invisible enemy operating within you, dictating your reactions and shaping your reality without you realizing it. Imagine your nervous system is like a highway with different lanes. There's an express lane, modern and safe, that leads you to connection, creativity, joy, and a sense of peace. When you're on this lane, life flows. You feel open, engaged, and capable of handling challenges. This is the pathway of the so-called ventral vagal system. It's the state we were designed to live in, a state of security and social engagement. In it, your body relaxes, your mind calms, and your heart opens. It's the state of creation, where manifestation happens effortlessly. But there is another path, an old, potholed, and dangerous road that represents our most primitive survival system. This is the path of the dorsal vagal system. When you are thrown onto this path, your body's response is paralysis, collapse, dissociation. It's the feeling of being frozen, without energy, disconnected from the world and from yourself. It's the body's last resort when fight or flight is not possible. It's a state of total disconnection, where life loses its color and hope disappears. Many people live a large part of their lives trapped on this path, feeling exhausted and apathetic without understanding why. And there is a third pathway, that of the sympathetic nervous system, the famous fight or flight response. This is the middle pathway, the mobilization pathway. It is activated when the body perceives a threat and needs energy to fight or run. The heart races, the muscles tense, breathing becomes short. It is a state of maximum alertness, anxiety, and agitation. Although useful for saving us from real danger, the problem is that most of us live with this system chronically activated. We are constantly mobilized for a fight that never happens, expending immense vital energy and living in a state of perpetual stress. The big problem is that most of us, without being aware of it, spend our entire lives alternating only between two dangerous paths: fight or flight and paralysis. We live in a cycle of anxiety and exhaustion. And worse, our nervous system gets used to it. It begins to interpret anything new, any opportunity for growth, any chance of happiness, as a potential threat. Why? Because the new is unknown. And for a system programmed for survival, the unknown is dangerous. That's why you procrastinate, sabotage yourself, and reject the things you most desire. It's not your fault. It's a deep biological programming, shaped by your life experiences, your traumas, the stress you faced. Your body, in an attempt to protect you, created a comfort zone, even if that zone is miserable. It learned that the familiar, even if painful, is safer than the unknown. And so, it keeps you trapped. Your body rejects abundance, repels opportunities, and sabotages your happiness, not because you don't deserve them, but because it was programmed to keep you safe within the limits of what it already knows. Until you learn to consciously take the access ramp to the safe lane, the ventral route, you will continue fighting a losing battle. You will be fighting an invisible enemy that lives inside your own body, an overprotective guardian that prevents you from living the life you were born to live. True freedom is not about controlling the outside world, but about learning to navigate your inner world. It's about learning to signal to your nervous system that everything is okay, that it can relax and get out of defense mode. And when you learn to do that, something extraordinary happens to your energy, something measurable that transforms you into a magnet. You've learned that your heart is a pump, a piece of biological machinery whose sole function is to propel blood throughout your body. But that's a tragically incomplete view. What if I told you that your heart is actually the center of a powerful energy field, a biological magnet that constantly interacts with the world around you? Cutting-edge research institutes, like HeartMath in California, have been studying this for decades, and what they've discovered is revolutionary. They've proven, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the heart generates the strongest electromagnetic field in the body. This field is not confined to your skin. It radiates outward from you, in all directions, forming a kind of energy bubble that can extend up to 3 meters in diameter. This is not mysticism. It is measurable physics. Scientists can detect and record this field with sophisticated instruments. What ancient traditions called the aura or field of light, modern science now calls the cardiac electromagnetic field. And the most fascinating part is that the quality of this field changes dramatically depending on your emotional and physiological state. When you are stressed, afraid, anxious, or frustrated, your heart rate becomes irregular and chaotic. This disorder is transmitted directly to your electromagnetic field. It becomes weak, incoherent, and disorganized. Think of it as a magnet that has lost its strength, unable to attract anything clearly. A chaotic field emits a signal of disorder to the universe, and the law of resonance dictates that it can only attract back more disordered situations, more chaos, more stress. It's a self-perpetuating vicious cycle, keeping you stuck in the frequency of difficulty. But the opposite is also true. When you manage to activate your God nerve correctly, when you enter that safe state of the ventral pathway we talked about, something magical happens. Your heart rhythm changes. It becomes smooth, ordered, and harmonious. This state is called cardiac coherence, and this coherence transforms your electromagnetic field. It becomes powerful, stable, and incredibly organized. It transforms into a super powerful magnet, emitting a signature of order, harmony, and power that the universe simply cannot ignore. Coherence is not just a state of calm. It's a state of profound alignment. It's when your heart, your mind, and your nervous system are all working in perfect synchronicity, like a well-tuned orchestra. This inner harmony creates an irresistible magnetic frequency. The universe, which is fundamentally a field of energy and information, responds to order with more order. A coherent heart field begins to attract synchronicities, opportunities, and experiences that resonate with this harmony. Things begin to flow to you, instead of you having to fight for them. Imagine being able to consciously transform your body into a magnet for the people. circumstances, and resources you need to achieve your dreams. Imagine walking through the world with such a powerful and coherent energy field that doors naturally open for you. This is not a fantasy. It is the direct result of learning to regulate your internal state. It is the consequence of mastering the biology of your own energy. You literally have a magnet pulsing inside your chest, and the only question is whether you are emitting a signal of chaos or a signal of coherence. The secret to activating this magnet, to moving from chaos to coherence, lies in reaching a very specific physiological state. A state that most people rarely experience, as they live trapped in survival modes. It's a state of silent power, of active stillness, where creation becomes your default setting. Few know how to get there, but it's a place that exists within all of us, waiting to be accessed. It's a biological superpower that, once activated, completely changes the rules of the game of manifestation. When we talk about calmness, most people think of passive relaxation, that feeling of tiredness at the end of an exhausting day, or the apathy of someone who has given up fighting. But that's not the calmness we're talking about. Forget that idea. There is a much higher, much more powerful state. A state I call empowered calm. It's not a calmness that comes from exhaustion, but rather a calmness that comes from power. It's a deep inner stillness that doesn't need to defend itself, doesn't need to run away, and doesn't need to prove anything because it knows, at a cellular level, that it's in control. Authorized calm is the highest physiological state of the nerve of God. It is the ultimate expression of the ventral vagal pathway, that safe path of your nervous system. When you access this state, all the energy your body used to spend on staying alert, fighting imaginary battles, and preparing for the worst is finally released. And this energy doesn't disappear. It is redirected. It becomes the fuel for your creativity, your intuition, your ability to connect with others, and most importantly, your ability to manifest a new reality. It's a feeling you may have experienced only rarely in your life. The profound and unwavering sensation that everything is all right, and from here on out, anything is possible. It's not forced positive thinking. It's a certainty emanating from your body. In this state, the chattering mind quiets down. Anxiety about the future and the weight of the past simply dissolve. You are fully present, anchored in a sense of security and sovereignty. It's ground zero, the fertile ground from which all new creations can effortlessly sprout. In this state, your perception of the world changes completely. Opportunities that once seemed invisible now leap out at you. People who once intimidated you now seem like just people. Problems that once seemed like mountains now reveal themselves as small, surmountable obstacles. Your intuition becomes razor sharp. You simply know what to do, where to go, who to talk to. Synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences, begin to happen with impressive frequency, as if the universe were conspiring in your favor. And the truth is, it is. When you operate from authorized calm, your heart field enters a state of maximum coherence. You become a beacon of order and harmony in a sea of chaos. And life, which always seeks the path of least resistance, begins to flow in your direction. You no longer need to force things to happen. You no longer need to fight, manipulate, or stress. You simply allow things to come to you, acting in an inspired way when the right moment arrives. Life stops being a struggle and becomes a dance. The most incredible thing is that this isn't a mystical concept or a state reserved for enlightened monks. It's a physiological state that can be activated by anyone. It's a biological superpower that lies dormant within you, waiting for the right command to awaken. It doesn't depend on your life story, your traumas, or your current condition. It only depends on your willingness to learn your body's language and use the correct keys to access this state of power and creation. And the best part? The method for achieving authorized calm and activating this superpower doesn't require years of training or Spartan discipline. It doesn't demand that you change who you are. It only requires you to dedicate a few minutes of your day to performing a specific ritual, a sequence of actions that acts as an access code for your nervous system. A protocol that can take you from stress to sovereignty in the blink of an eye. And this protocol is simpler than you could ever imagine. You might be thinking that achieving such a powerful state as empowered calm, completely recalibrating your nervous system, would require a monumental effort. Years of therapy, long meditation retreats in remote places, complex practices, and monk-like discipline. But that's just another lie we've been told to keep the power out of our reach. The truth is, your body is incredibly wise. It already knows how to return to this state of power and coherence. It just needs you to give it the right stimulus, the clear signal that it's safe to do so. And this stimulus comes in the form of a simple and quick protocol. A protocol of just 4 minutes. This is the biological key that unites the knowledge of modern neuroscience about the vagus nerve with the wisdom of ancestral practices that have been used for millennia to regulate the internal state. This is not just another positive thinking technique or shallow breathing that barely scratches the surface of the problem. It is precise physical training, a reconditioning of your nervous system that teaches your body to recognize safety and open itself to expansion. Think of it as a reset for your biology. Every day, you accumulate stress, tension, and fear. Your nervous system becomes overloaded, stuck in survival mode. The 4-minute protocol works like pressing the reset button. It interrupts the stress cycle and forces your system to return to its factory settings, a state of calm, safety, and openness. It's a way of hacking your own physiology, using the language the body understands to produce a profound and immediate change in your state of being. The secret of this protocol lies not in a single element, but in the specific sequence of actions. Each step is designed to trigger a particular neurological response, and their combination creates a cascading effect that reprograms your nervous system in real time. It's like a combination lock. Each individual number may not mean much, but when turned in the correct order, they unlock the treasure. And the treasure, in this case, is your natural state of creative power and effortless manifestation. The knowledge elite knows this, but this information rarely reaches the general public. Why 4 minutes? Because research shows that this is an ideal amount of time to create a significant state shift without becoming a burden on your daily routine. It's short enough that there's no excuse not to do it, but long enough for the physiological effects to take hold and begin creating new neural pathways. By practicing this daily, you're not just changing your state in the moment. You're training your nervous system so that authoritative calm becomes your default state and no longer an exception. This protocol requires no special equipment, no specific environment, and no prior skills. You can do it anywhere, anytime you need to recenter your energy. Before an important meeting, after a stressful discussion, or simply as a daily practice to start the day on the right frequency, it is the most powerful and efficient tool that exists to take control of your internal state and consequently, your external reality. And it all starts with the first step. And here's the part that might surprise you. The first step in this powerful ritual is a movement that seems completely counterintuitive. It's an action that most people would associate with weakness or defeat, but which, in fact, is one of the most potent triggers for signaling safety to your nervous system. It's a biological secret that initiates the entire cascade of transformation. A simple gesture that instantly switches off threat mode and prepares the ground for the real magic to happen. The ritual begins here. And it starts with a movement that goes against everything we've been taught about power and confidence. We've been conditioned to believe that power is about puffing out your chest, raising your head, looking ahead. But the first step to hacking your nervous system is exactly the opposite. It's an act that seems like defeat, but is actually an act of supreme power over your own biology. It's what I call the active surrender posture. Sit comfortably on the edge of a chair, with your feet firmly on the ground, and simply lean your torso forward, letting your head hang down, as if you were tired. This is not an act of giving up. It is an intentional activation of one of the most powerful and primitive reflexes in our body, the diving reflex. This reflex is shared by all mammals and is triggered when our face comes into contact with cold water, or when we adopt a posture that simulates immersion. It exists to conserve oxygen and protect our vital organs in situations of submersion. But the most fascinating side effect of this reflex is that it instantly activates the parasympathetic part of our nervous system, the part responsible for rest and relaxation. By leaning forward and lowering your head, you are sending an unmistakable signal to your brain. You are telling it, in its own language, that you are safe. Think about it. An animal only relaxes and lowers its head when there are no predators nearby. This posture communicates, on a pre-verbal and instinctive level, that the threat has passed. Instantly, your body begins to shut down the fight or flight response. The production of stress hormones, such as cortisol and adrenaline, decreases dramatically. Your heart rate begins to slow down. It's a biological hack of impressive elegance. Instead of trying to convince your anxious mind that everything is all right, you simply put your body in a position that forces it to believe everything is all right. The physiology changes first, and the mind follows. The energy that was mobilized in your limbs to fight or flee, that tension in your shoulders, neck, and jaw, begins to dissipate. The energy that was trapped in defense mode simply switches off, as if someone had flipped a switch. This is the first and most crucial step in the entire protocol, because it creates fertile ground for everything that follows. Trying to relax or manifest something from a state of heightened alertness is impossible. It's like trying to plant seeds in concrete. The active surrender posture tills the soil. It softens the system, making it receptive and open. It's the act of signaling to each of the trillions of cells in your body the same powerful message. The fight is over. The threat doesn't exist. I am safe to stop fighting and begin creating. Remain in this posture for a few moments, simply breathing normally. Feel the weight of your head. Feel the tension flowing down your back and out through your feet. You are literally surrendering to the force of gravity, and in doing so, you are surrendering to the present moment. You are telling your nervous system that it no longer needs to carry the weight of the world on its shoulders. This simple gesture of surrender is, paradoxically, your first great act of reclaiming power. You have stopped reacting to the world and have begun to command your inner state. And it is from this posture of profound security and relaxation that the true magic begins to happen. Now that the channel is clear, the static has been reduced, and your body is receptive. We can begin to introduce the next elements of the protocol. Elements that will fine-tune your frequency, activate the magnet in your chest, and permanently transform your state of being. The door has been opened. Now, let's walk through it. Now that your body is in the active surrender posture, completely safe and receptive, we can begin the heart of the protocol. This is where we will use breath not only to oxygenate the body, but as a precise tuning tool. The cycle is deceptively simple, but each number has a neurological purpose. You will inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds, filling the lower part of your abdomen. Then, you will hold your breath for 7 seconds. And finally, You will exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds. This pattern, known as 4-7-8, is famous for its calming power, but we will add a secret that amplifies it 1,000 times. The real trick, the detail nobody tells you, happens during the pause. In those 7 seconds when you're holding your breath, you will consciously swallow your saliva. It may seem like a tiny, almost silly act, but for your nervous system, it's a powerful command. Think about it. In a real danger situation, you wouldn't be able to stop to eat or drink. The act of swallowing is one of the most primitive and undeniable signals that you are safe. It's a biological switch that speaks directly to the most evolved part of your vagus nerve, the ventral pathway, forcing it into action. This small gesture instantly deactivates threat mode. It's as if you were sending a telegram directly to your reptilian brain saying, "False alert, you can lower your guard. We are safe." The mind may doubt, but the body doesn't. It responds to these biological signals automatically. The act of swallowing while holding your breath is what transforms a simple breathing technique into a powerful tool for neurological reprogramming. It's the detail that makes all the difference, the secret that accelerates the transition from a state of stress to a state of calm and power. Exhalation is not passive either. It is an instrument of vibration. When you exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds, you will not only release air, you will emit a deep, low humming sound, like voo or whichever is more natural for you. The important thing is that you feel this vibration resonating in your chest, throat, and skull. This sound is not meant to be heard. It is meant to be felt. The physical vibration travels through the tissues and fluids of your body, massaging the vagus nerve and helping to release accumulated tension along its path. This combination of rhythmic breathing, the act of swallowing, and vibrational exhalation is a symphony of safety signals for your body. The slow inhalation calms, the retention with swallowing confirms safety, and the long, vibrational exhalation releases residual tension. You are methodically and deliberately tuning your biological instrument. You are clearing the static from your internal frequency and preparing your energy field to emit a clear, coherent, and powerful signal to the universe. Each cycle of this breath is a step away from chaos and a step towards order. Repeat this first cycle a few times, still in the inclined posture. Inhale for 4, hold for 7 while swallowing, and exhale with a humming sound for 8. Feel the change happening. Feel the stillness deepening. Feel the energy that was previously trapped in anxiety begin to settle, becoming a calm and powerful presence at the center of your being. You are in control. You are setting the pace. You are in command of your inner state. Perhaps for the first time in your life, the foundation has been laid. Now that you've learned how to flip the main switch, the next step is to amplify that signal. We're going to add 2 more layers to this process. 2 new commands that will close a power circuit within your body, making the activation of the God nerve even deeper and more lasting. We're going to transform that initial spark into a stable and powerful energy current. If the first breathing cycle was like flipping a switch, this second cycle is like increasing the voltage. We're going to take the energy we started generating and amplify it, creating an internal circuit that makes the signal of safety and coherence even stronger and more unmistakable to your nervous system. The breathing pattern remains the same, 4-7-8. But now we're going to add 2 secret actions that act as catalysts, accelerating the reprogramming of your biology and deepening the state of authorized calm. The first action happens during inhalation. While you slowly inhale for 4 seconds, gently press the tip of your tongue against the roof of your mouth, just behind your front teeth. This specific point is an area rich in nerve endings. By applying light pressure there, you are directly activating the trigeminal nerve, one of the largest cranial nerves. And the trigeminal nerve has a direct connection, a true neurological shortcut, to the brainstem, exactly where the God nerve originates. It's like taking an express route to the command center of your nervous system. At the same time as you press your tongue, you will add a second action, a subtle contraction of the muscles of your perineum. The perineum is the area of muscles between the anus and the genitals. The contraction should be slight, as if you were discreetly holding back the urge to go to the bathroom. In Eastern traditions, this area is known as the gateway to life, the base of our energy system. By slightly contracting these muscles, you are closing the base of your energy circuit, preventing energy from dissipating and directing it upwards, along your spine. Now, put it all together. Inhale for 4 seconds, pressing your tongue against the roof of your mouth and contracting your perineum. Hold your breath for 7 seconds, maintaining the contractions and, crucially, swallowing your saliva. Feel the energy building up, the internal pressure increasing subtly and in a controlled manner. You have created a closed circuit, an internal force field. The energy is circulating within you, no longer leaking out in the form of stress or anxiety. You are containing and amplifying your own vital power. So, on the 8-second exhale, you release everything. Relax your tongue, relax your perineum, and release the air with that deep, low hum. Contrast is key. The contrast between the slight tension and contraction of the closed circuit and the total relaxation and release on the exhale is what creates neuroplasticity. It is this cycle of contracting and releasing that physically teaches your nervous system to expand. You are training your body to move out of the chronic contraction of fear and into the expansion of safety and creation. Repeat this second cycle a few times. Inhale with your tongue, and perineum contracted, hold and swallow. And exhale, releasing everything with a humming sound. With each repetition, you will feel the state of calm deepen even further. The feeling of being grounded, centered, and in control becomes stronger. You are no longer just calming the system. You are actively building a new neural circuit, a new pathway for energy to flow. You are strengthening the path of safety and power. With this power circuit now active and amplified, your communication channel with the universe is cleaner and more powerful than ever. Static has been almost completely eliminated. Your body is in a state of maximum receptivity. Now, and only now, are we ready for the most important step, giving the command. It's time to use this open channel to implant the exact frequency of your desire directly into your biology. Now the channel is open. Your nervous system is calm. Your heart field is beginning to come into coherence, and your body is in a state of maximum receptivity. This is the crucial moment. It's time to give the command to insert the new programming. And here's the secret that differentiates this method from everything you've ever tried. You won't visualize what you want. The visual mind is noisy and full of doubts. Instead, you will feel. Feeling is the language of the body, the language of the universe. It's pure vibration, the signal that cannot be faked. In the third breathing cycle, the instruction is clear and direct. Feel as if your desire is already a fulfilled reality. Don't think about how it will happen. Don't worry about the details. Don't imagine the scene. Just immerse yourself in the emotion of the final result. If you desire financial abundance, don't visualize the money. Feel the emotion of freedom, security, and peace of mind that abundance would bring you. How would you feel waking up in the morning without any worries about bills? Feel that lightness in your chest, that expansion in your body. If your desire is for a loving relationship, don't imagine a person's face. Feel the emotion of love, of connection, of the joy of sharing life with someone. Feel the warmth in your heart, the sensation of being completely seen, accepted, and loved. Bring this emotion to the forefront of your consciousness. Let it become the only reality in your inner universe for a few moments. The feeling is the vibrational signature of your new reality. It is the energetic prototype that you are about to implant in your biology. Now, let's anchor this feeling in the body. Begin the 4-7-8 breathing cycle, maintaining the actions of the previous cycle. Press your tongue against the roof of your mouth and contract your perineum as you inhale. But this time, while inhaling, pull in the feeling you are generating along with the air. Bring this emotion into your physical body, locating it in your chest or stomach. During the 7-second pause, while you hold your breath and swallow your saliva, focus all your attention on this feeling. Anchor it. Feel it solidifying within you. This is the moment of encoding. The act of swallowing while holding your breath and feeling functions like the save command on a computer. You are telling your nervous system, this emotion, this frequency, is now part of my biological reality. You are impregnating your cells with the vibration of your fulfilled desire. You are no longer in the realm of imagination. You are in the realm of physiological creation. The new reality is being installed in your biological hardware. Then, as you exhale with the humming sound for 8 seconds, the final magic happens. As you feel the vibration in your chest, imagine and feel that this emotion, this frequency you have anchored, is now expanding outward from you. Visualize it as a wave, a sphere of light radiating from your heart and filling the entire environment around you, extending into the universe. You are no longer asking or wishing, you are transmitting. You have become an antenna, actively emitting the signal of the reality you have chosen. Repeat this encoding cycle for a few minutes. With each repetition, the feeling will become stronger, more real, more natural. You are training your body to recognize this new frequency as its default state. You are teaching your cells to vibrate in resonance with abundance, love, health, or whatever you desire. You are becoming, on a physical and energetic level, the person who already has what they desire. And when you become that person, the universe has no choice but to mirror this new truth. But the process is not over yet. We need to seal this new programming. You prepared the groundwork, opened the channel, amplified the signal, and deployed the new command. Now, we arrive at the final and perhaps most important step of the entire protocol, the integration seal. This last cycle ensures that the new programming is not just a temporary experiment, but that it becomes your new default setting. It's the moment when you lock the new frequency into your system, making it your new energetic identity. Without this step, the old programming can easily take control again. The fourth and final cycle is the simplest of all, but it requires your full presence. Breathe again in the 4-7-8 pattern, repeating the gestures you have already learned. As you inhale, press your tongue against the roof of your mouth and contract your perineum. As you hold your breath, swallow your saliva one last time. But this time, there is no need to focus on a specific feeling. The command has already been given. Now, the intention is simply to integrate, seal, and stabilize the energy you have just generated. Just be present with the sensations in your body. This final act of swallowing saliva during retention functions as a final seal. It's the definitive confirmation to your nervous system that the reprogramming process is complete and that this new configuration should be maintained. It's like clicking the OK button after installing new software. You are giving final permission for the change to become permanent at a cellular level. It's a closing act, a ritual that marks the transition from your old vibrational self to your new self. So, As you exhale with a final hum, surrender completely to the process. Release all the air, all the tension, all the intention. And then, the most sacred moment of the entire protocol, stillness. After the final exhalation, remain in absolute silence for a few seconds. Do not inhale immediately. Just stay in the void, in the space between breaths. It is in this instant of total stillness, a vacuum, that the nervous system truly absorbs the message. In this profound silence, your body receives the final command, not in words, but in pure sensation. This is my new standard frequency. This is my new state of being. It's an instant download. Biology adjusts, your body chemistry changes. The vibration of your cells rises to match the frequency you have cultivated. A new energetic identity, the identity of the person who already has what they desire, settles into your being. You are no longer pretending. You have become. Your body is now calibrated to a new reality. It has learned what it feels like to be safe, abundant, loved, and free. It now recognizes this frequency as home. And because your body is calibrated to this new reality, it will begin to act in ways that are aligned with it. Your decisions, your words, your actions, and even your body posture will begin to reflect this new internal programming, often without you even having to think about it. The change becomes automatic. This integration seal is what ensures that the results don't disappear as soon as you get up from your chair. By practicing this protocol daily, you are strengthening this new calibration. Each session is like adding another layer of varnish, making the new programming more robust, more resilient, and more dominant. The old frequency of fear and scarcity loses its power, while the new frequency of power and creation becomes your unshakable truth. But how does this new truth translate into the real world? That's where the law the universe cannot break comes in. You've spent your whole life believing that manifestation is an act of asking, of begging, of shouting your desires to a distant universe and hoping it will hear you. But that's the biggest lie ever told. Authentic manifestation isn't about asking, it's about being. The universe, the quantum field, the matrix of reality, doesn't work based on words or thoughts. It works based on a fundamental and unbreakable law, the law of resonance. Like attracts like, period. It doesn't listen to what you say, it mirrors what you are. Your vibration, the actual frequency your body emits every second, is your true identity in the universe. And this vibration doesn't lie. You can try to deceive yourself with positive affirmations, but if your nervous system is vibrating with fear, the signal you're sending is one of fear. And the universe, obeying its law, can only bring you more circumstances that correspond to that vibration. That's why so many people feel trapped, because they are trying to create an external reality that is in total dissonance with their internal reality. This is where the power of the 4-minute protocol is revealed. It doesn't teach you to wish better or to ask harder. It transforms you, from the inside out, into the person who is already a vibrational match for what you desire. It doesn't change your request. It changes the sender. By recalibrating your nervous system and your heart field, you become someone capable of sustaining the frequency of your desire. And sustaining the frequency is the real secret. It's no use reaching a high vibration for 5 minutes if, for the rest of the day, you return to vibrating in scarcity and frustration. The law is simple, yet profound. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. If you want to attract wealth, you need to become the vibration of abundance. If you want to attract love, you need to become the vibration of love and self-acceptance. The 4-minute protocol is your vibrational gym. It trains your body to maintain this new frequency. to make it your natural state. It teaches you to be, at a cellular level, the person you want to become. When you change your physiological vibration, you change the signal you are transmitting to the quantum field. It's like changing the radio station you're broadcasting. If before you were tuned to the struggle and scarcity FM station, now you're tuned to flow and abundance HD. And the universe, by law, has no choice but to respond to this new signal. The things, people, and opportunities that are on the same frequency as your new vibration will begin to be attracted to your life experience, not by magic, but by physics. This completely removes the idea of effort and struggle from the manifestation process. You no longer need to chase butterflies. You simply tend to your garden, and the butterflies come to you. Your only job is to maintain your frequency. Cultivate your inner state of coherence and empowered calm. The how and the when cease to be your concern. You trust that by emitting the correct signal, the corresponding response will inevitably arrive. Your responsibility is to be the magnet, not to chase the metal. Once you begin practicing the protocol and sustaining a state of cardiac coherence, one of the first and most noticeable changes that occurs is the awakening of your intuition. Intuition is not a mystical voice speaking to you. It is your body's ability to perceive subtle information from the environment that your conscious mind cannot grasp. When your nervous system is calm and your cardiac field is coherent, internal noise decreases dramatically. And in that silence, you begin to hear the whispers of your body, the signals that have always been there but were muffled by the static of stress. Your body literally transforms into a biological radar. It becomes incredibly sensitive to the frequencies around you. You begin to feel things more clearly. You walk into a room and feel the energy of the environment. You meet someone and your body gives you an immediate yes or no signal. You're about to make a decision and you feel an expansion in your chest, a signal to move forward, or a contraction in your stomach, a signal to pause. This internal guidance system becomes your most reliable guide, far more accurate than the wavering logic of your mind. And that's when synchronicities begin to happen. Synchronicity is the term psychologist Carl Jung used to describe meaningful coincidences. Those events that seem magically connected but have no apparent causal link. Suddenly, you think of someone you haven't seen in years, and they call you the next minute. You need specific information, and you randomly open a book to the exact page containing the answer. You decide to start a new project, and the next day you meet the perfect person to help you. This isn't luck, it's physics. Remember, your coherent heart field is a powerful magnet that emits a clear, ordered frequency. This frequency interacts with the quantum field, which is a network of interconnected information. By emitting a clear signal, you begin to attract into your orbit people, events, and information that vibrate at the same frequency. Synchronicities are simply the universe showing you the connection points that correspond to your new vibration. They are the pieces of the puzzle moving to find you. People around you will also begin to feel the difference, even if they can't explain why. They will feel more comfortable in your presence. Doors that once seemed closed will begin to open more easily. Negotiations will flow better. You will become a magnetic presence, not because of something you say or do, but because of the energy you emanate. What once required a monumental effort, such as convincing someone or forcing a situation, will now happen with surprising fluidity, because people are responding to your inner coherence. Life ceases to be a series of random events and becomes an intelligent and responsive dance. Every step you take is inspired by this inner guidance, and the world seems to respond to your every move. You act less, but accomplish more. You exert less effort, but create more. You stop fighting the current and learn to use the river's flow to your advantage. You realize you were never alone in this process, that there is a greater intelligence orchestrating events in response to your vibration. To understand why your God nerve is out of whack, look to your past. From childhood, you were programmed for survival, not creation. Rules like don't make mistakes and be careful taught you to live in constant alert. This conditioning made your body learn that the world is dangerous and that the unknown must be avoided at all costs to stay safe. This survival programming is the cause of a nervous system that sabotages your growth. Your body has learned to confuse opportunity with threat and expansion with danger. Manifestation requires surrender and trust, but your biology, trained for decades to control and defend itself, applies the brakes. Your conscious mind wants to change, but your body, out of loyalty to the old programming, resists. Activating the God nerve with this protocol is therefore, an act of sovereignty. It is your declaration of independence from past programming. You stop living in reaction mode, governed by old fears, and begin to create from the present moment. It is your consciousness regaining control of your biological vehicle, consciously deciding which frequency to emit. Each time you practice, you undo years of conditioning. You teach your body, in its own language, that it is safe to relax, open up, and receive. It is a return to your original frequency, the pure vibration of your consciousness before layers of fear distorted it. You are literally taking back control of your state of being and becoming the cause of your reality. True freedom is here. The prison was never external, but rather made of conditioned neural patterns in your body. With your intention and breath, you hold the key to dissolving these bars. This journey is not about having more, but about being more of who you truly are. A being of expansion, joy, and effortless creation. The path is clear. The map has been delivered. Your body was never broken, just out of sync, operating in a survival mode that blocked your power. You are trying to create a new reality with a body that vibrated with fear. Now you have the tool to fine-tune your biological instrument and transmit the correct frequency to the universe, activating your ability to manifest effortlessly. Effortless manifestation isn't magic, it's physics. It's the result of aligning your inner vibration with what you desire. Your only job is to stop chasing and start being. By clearing the static of fear and doubt with a protocol, you become a magnet. What you seek is already trying to find you. You just need to become a vibrational match for the connection to happen. The ultimate question isn't whether the protocol works, but whether you're ready for the life it can create. Are you willing to let go of the victim identity and the history of struggle that have defined you until now? Taking full responsibility for your frequency is the true test. Expansion requires the courage to leave the old self behind and embrace the new reality you demand. This is the path of effortless action, where your movements flow in harmony with the universe. Things simply happen because you become a channel for life's creative intelligence. Make this protocol your daily ritual, an act of command over your inner state. Then, observe with curiosity how the external world reorganizes itself to reflect your new vibration. The invitation has been made and the door is open. A life of fluidity, power, and creation is not a distant dream. It's your birthright waiting to be claimed. The struggle is no longer necessary. Expansion awaits you. The only question that remains is, will you accept the invitation and embrace your power as a creator? If you've made it this far, it's no coincidence. It means you're ready to stop being an effect and become the cause of your reality. To seal this decision, leave the following phrase in the comments: "My body is a magnet." Your presence until the end of this video is already a huge help in getting this message to more people. If you feel called to support the channel more directly, Know that this is very important to me and to our growth. In the first pinned comment, I've left a link where you can contribute and help me continue spreading more content like this. Any help you can give makes a gigantic difference. But even if you can't, just by watching this far and sharing this video with someone who needs to hear this, you're already helping to transform the world. And before you leave, your journey doesn't have to stop now. I've prepared a special video for you to take the next step, to further deepen your knowledge and apply it practically. Don't leave yet. Click on the video that's appearing on your screen now, and let's meet there.